Hi, I'm David McCree. I'm a CPA, and I'm going to make here what I hope is going to be a very helpful video for very small tax-exempt organizations. Now, this video is only for tax-exempt organizations that normally have $50,000 or less in gross receipts each year and have just found out that their tax-exempt status was revoked because they didn't file a Form 990 return for 3 consecutive years. Now, what does annual gross receipts mean? Well, that means all the money or tangible non-cash items received during the year before subtracting any expenses. Okay. I'm getting so many emails and phone calls from small tax-exempt organizations, and they want me to analyze their situation and read their long descriptions of what happened to them and tell them how to get their tax-exempt status back for free. And I'd love to be able to do that, but I just can't. It's just overwhelming, the amount of emails and phone calls I'm getting. So I'm going to make this video that hopefully will help a great deal. Some organizations just don't understand how their tax-exempt status could have been revoked, since they say they never applied for tax-exempt status to begin with, or at least they don't remember doing that. Now, the IRS makes it very clear that it doesn't matter whether an organization was ever required to apply for tax-exempt status or not. If it was legally formed as a tax-exempt organization and it's claiming to be tax-exempt, right, by holding itself out to the public as tax-exempt and operating as tax-exempt, then it's required to file certain annual returns or notices. If the organization fails to file one of its returns, that's either a 990N, the 990EZ, the 990, or the 990PF, for 3 consecutive years, then it loses its tax-exempt status as of the original due date of the 3rd consecutive unfiled return. So you don't file for 3 years. As of the due date of the 3rd year return, revocation is effective, whether the IRS notifies you or not. Now, it used to be that organizations with less than $25,000 in annual gross receipts, they didn't have to file any kind of Form 990. They didn't have to file any annual return of the Form 990 series. This changed with the Pension Protection Act of 2006. So for tax years beginning after 2006, failure to file the annual return, the 990EZ, the 990, or the 990PF, or the annual notice, the 990N, if the organization was eligible for that. Failure to file any of those returns results in automatic revocation of tax-exempt status. This revocation happens by operation of law. Okay, it doesn't require that the IRS do anything or send any notice to the organization. Now, if the organization never applied for recognition of tax-exempt status by filing Form 1023 or Form 1024, then the IRS isn't going to send a notice to the organization that it was revoked, because the IRS doesn't know that it's operating as tax-exempt. If the organization did at some time in the past, then it could have been, 2 decades ago. If it did file a 1023 or Form 1024, then the IRS will send a notice to the last known address of the organization telling it that its tax-exempt status was revoked, and it'll tell you what the effective date of the revocation was. The IRS maintains a list on its website of organizations whose tax-exempt status was revoked. It's a very important list, and it shows 2 important dates. Number 1, it shows the date that the automatic revocation was effective, the date it occurred, and it shows the date that the revocation was publicly posted on the IRS website. Okay, and it's always good to check that. So let's go have a look at the IRS list of revoked organizations website. Okay, so here we are on the IRS website. You're just going to go to www.irs.gov. You're going to click on Charities and Nonprofits. You're going to come down here to EO Select Check and click on that. Then you're going to scroll down to this blue Exempt Organizations Select Check tool. Okay, that's what we want. We want the Select Check Database tool. And we are looking for to see if our organization was automatically revoked, and we want to know the dates involved. So we're going to click on that little button.
And then we have the search function. Now what you're going to do is you're going to type in your employer ID number here. Now I'm just choosing an organization at random that I know was revoked. And this is not a client of mine. I've never heard of this organization before. I just picked them at random for purposes of demonstration here. Okay, so now you're going to notice that there are two important dates on here. Okay, there's the revocation date. That's the date that the organization became revoked. It was in revoked status, and that would be the due date of the return of the third consecutive unfiled return, May 15th, 2017, for this organization. And this is the date here, the revocation posting date. This is the date that the IRS actually publicly posted on this website. All right, and these dates are important. There's another date that's important, and it's on the letter that you received from the IRS. If you received a letter, that's the revocation, the date on the revocation letter. Okay, so that letter that you received is going to have two dates. It's going to show the May 15th date here, right, the revocation date, and it's also going to just have a date at the top of the letter. That's the date that the letter was generated by the computer. Okay, that's the date of the letter. That is an important date, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So the other thing I want you to make you aware of is you need to go to Google, and you need to do a search on, and let me just go ahead and you can see I've got it typed in here. You're gonna search for RevProc, REV space PROC space 2014-11. Okay, this is Revenue Procedure 2014-11. And as you can see, Google has returned it a PDF file. It's the first result. We're going to click on that and open this. And this is the IRS instructions for how to get your tax-exempt status back. It is a long document, fairly long. It's complicated, has many parts to it, and it's hard to understand if you don't understand exempt organization tax law. But I'm addressing only this streamlined reinstatement process, okay, which is talked about here. And there's more details in Section 4 of the Revenue Procedure, so I'm just going to scroll through to Section 4. Okay, it's right here, Section 4, Streamlined Retroactive Reinstatement of Tax-Exempt Status for Small Organizations within 15 months of revocation. Okay, so that's what you would follow if this video applies to you. All right, and so let's talk about this 15 months business here. Okay, you qualify for the streamlined reinstatement procedure if you're reapplying within, and it tells you right here, you submit the application not later than 15 months after the later of the date of the revocation letter or the date on which the IRS posted the organization's name on the revocation list. Okay, so you're going to look at two dates. The first date is the date that the revocation letter, which you received, hopefully, was issued. Not the revocation date itself, not the May 15th, 2017, but the actual date on the letter that it was issued. You're going to compare that to the date, to this date, the revocation posting date. And whichever date is later, that starts the clock ticking for the 15 months. Okay, so you got 15 months to apply. Now, if you qualify for this streamlined procedure, the organization does not have to explain why it did not file. Okay, it's presumed to have reasonable cause. Also, because organizations that I'm talking about here that have $50,000 or less in gross receipts annually, those organizations were eligible to submit the Form 990N, so they do not have to go back and file any returns for those 3 years that they failed to file. Okay? Now, if you're not reapplying within the 15 months, that that we just talked about, then the procedure gets more complicated and you're going to need help. And here's an important helpful tip for you. If your organization never received a notice from the IRS in the mail, and it does not appear on this list of revoked organizations, in other words, when you do a search, it doesn't come up, okay? Then the organization can reapply as if it's reapplying within the 15-month period, okay? Now, also, if the organization is a charitable organization applying under Section 501c3, it's really should be eligible to reapply using IRS Form 1023-EZ rather than the long Form 1023. And this is awesome because it's so much easier to do the 1023-EZ. Now, this is not going to apply to other types of tax-exempt organizations like 501c4, 501c6, 501c7. Those organizations have to use Form 1024, and there is no Form 1024-EZ. So, to see if your organization is eligible to use the 1023-EZ, be sure to read the instructions to that form. You can find them on the IRS website. The 1023-EZ is an electronic form. There's no paper form. Okay, it has to be prepared online at the pay.gov website. Right, so let's just see if we can go there. Pay.gov. Okay, so here we are on the pay.gov website, and just looking at it, okay, common payments down here, there's the 1023-EZ link right here. Now, if we go to that link, you'll see that it gives you a bunch of information here, and it tells you that when you, first of all, you're going to need to know the NTEE activity code, and they have a list of these codes available at this link. So you'll want to check that out before you start filling out the form. It also tells you that you have to have a pay.gov account before you can file your 1023-EZ here. So if you have an account, then you can sign in. Otherwise, click Create an account to create one. Now, I'm not going to go through all that. I mean, you can do that. But here you can preview the form. And remember, I told you that there's no paper form, but they do provide you with a PDF that you can view. And here's what it looks like. Let's see if I can make it a little bigger. Okay. And you can just see that it asks, there's no financial information on here at all. It asks for the organization's name and so forth. Lists of officers and directors, whether it's a corporation. It asks questions about your articles of incorporation and so forth, and what type of organizations you are. And here's where you enter that NTEE code that describes your activities. All right. Now, then it asks a bunch of questions here. It asks you if you're intended to qualify for public charity status. I'm going to just skip through all that, and this is the important part I want you to know here. Reinstatement after automatic revocation. Okay, this section is important. So if you're asking for retroactive reinstatement, in other words, you want to be reinstated all the way back to the date you were revoked, and I'm assuming that's what you want, then you're going to want to check that box right there. Okay. If you don't need retroactive reinstatement, then you can check the second box, and then you will just be tax exempt from the date that you actually file the Form 1023-EZ here. And then there will be a period between the date you were revoked and the day you send this in where you were considered a taxable corporation. So, I mean, I'm assuming that you're probably going to want retroactive reinstatement. All right, and so that's all I'm going to say about the 1023-EZ. I don't intend for this to be a tutorial on the 1023-EZ, just giving you some direction here and a couple of pointers. Now, after you submit the 1023-EZ, it takes a couple of weeks or a little longer to receive your approval letter from the IRS. If you want a transcript of this video that includes links to all these websites and other resources and instructions and so forth, you can go to my website, which is nonprofittaxguy.com/revoked. nonprofittaxguy.com/revoked. If your organization is not eligible for the streamlined procedure and it's not eligible to file the Form 1023-EZ, you're going to need more help than what I can provide you in this one video. So there's two ways I can help you. First, you can sign up and take my online video course on how to get your tax-exempt status back after revocation, or you can book a half-an-hour consultation with me. Now, in the consultation, I can listen to all your specific facts and circumstances, and I can tell you what the best way for you to go forward is. So let's start with the consultation. If you want to book a consultation, you go to my website, nonprofittaxguy.com. Okay, you're going to click on Schedule a Phone Consultation, and it tells you that I charge $100 per half an hour. And I'll talk about many subjects, and you just click again on click to request a phone consultation, and you will get this consultation request form, and you just fill that out, give me a little information, and send that to me, and I will get in touch with you, and we will schedule the conversation at our mutual convenience. The other way you can get additional help is you could go to my education and training website, and the address is nonprofittaxhelp.podia.com. That's podia.com. Okay, so, and when you get to that, you will just scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the courses and materials that I offer. And this first one at the top, online video course, Revoked: How to Get Your Tax-Exempt Status Back. If you click on that, you can view the details of the course, and you can see the written instruction materials that you get, including a manual on how to figure out what to do. There's a flow chart, and then there are 17 videos ranging from like 2 minutes on up to 20 minutes. And it tells you pretty much everything you're going to need to know for a more complicated situation.
Getting your tax-exempt status back can be quite a complicated affair. I don't really recommend this as a do-it-yourself project, but it can be done with some good instruction. Really, it's well worth investing a few dollars to get the right advice. But, it seems like we have a lot of do-it-yourselfers out there these days. I know money's tight in some cases, and, it's a lot of bother. So I'm trying to provide the information that you need to do it right. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need some help signing up for the online course, or if you want to go ahead and book a half-an-hour consultation with me. Be glad to help you out. Thanks for watching.